In this video, I'm going to be talking about how you can use the law of attraction on your weight loss journey. Coming up. The law of attraction isn't new. It seems that every generation comes up with its own version of it. So right now it's The Secret. But when I was coming up, it was a book called Creative Visualization by Shakti Gawain. And essentially the idea behind it and the law of attraction is that you want to visualize your goal in as much sharp detail as you can so that it will help you create it. And this isn't anything new, and it really does work. I mean, there is some science behind it. However, where I diverge from some of the really hardcore law of attraction people is that some of them believe that that's all you have to do, that you just think yourself thin, essentially, and you don't have to change what you're eating or your exercise habits or anything else. You just visualize yourself thin and magically you'll be thin. Yeah, I don't really believe that. I mean, if you do and it works, please tell me in the comments. But there is a really good way to use the law of attraction for weight loss. I'm going to describe that now. There was a law of attraction teacher in the 60s, 70s called Neville Goddard, and he wrote several books, and his idea was that right before you fall asleep, you play something that he called your imaginal act. So for weight loss, I've given this homework to my clients. You might want to try it. You visualize the scene in sharp detail, sharp as you can, using all your senses, of yourself at your goal weight in some way. So in whatever meaningful way that is for you. Some examples of clients that have made up, acts at their goal weight are one gets up, it's, her usual morning routine. She gets up, she goes into the bathroom, she gets on the scale, and there's that goal weight. And she imagines herself in detail, looking down at that number on the scale, seeing that number, feeling all the feelings associated with how she believes she will feel when she reaches that amazing goal. And then she feels in this visualization, she physically touches her body and she can feel her stomach and her waist and her thighs and everything as it is when she's at her goal weight, which gives her like a visceral feeling of what that will be like. And then she falls asleep. And the idea is to do something like that for a good couple of weeks every night before you fall asleep so that you can imprint it on your subconscious mind and really get what you're trying to create in that way. So that's one example of how you can do an imaginal act. There are several other examples of imaginal acts that I can give you to try. One is going shopping for clothing at your goal weight. And so you, in whatever shop you want to go, you can imagine walking in and going up to that size and knowing it's going to look good. You can see yourself trying that thing on and having it fit you beautifully and how you're going to feel. That's another one that people like. And you can imagine yourself at a party. Right now we're coming on the holidays, as you can see. And so imagining yourself in that sequin dress or that suit that you really want to wear is helpful to do right before you fall asleep as a way to kind of get it, that's what you're creating. And the idea with law of attraction is that by doing that, you will create it in reality, in your real life. And there is really some science to that. So it's worth giving it a try. So tell me in the comments some ideas for imaginal acts that come to you. So one of the things I want to just caution you about a little bit when it comes to using the law of attraction for weight loss is that some people are more motivated by the negative than the positive. And law of attraction is really all about focusing your mind in the future on your goal in a positive way, which is great. However, some people really prefer to picture what could be if they don't take care of their bodies and they don't take care of their weight. Example, one of my clients is maintaining a 100-pound weight loss right now, and she keeps a fat picture of herself on her refrigerator at all times, at her top weight. And it helps her so that she doesn't go back there. She's much more motivated by not dying and not going back to how she felt and how she looked at her top weight than she is by imagining herself at her slender weight. So for this particular client, using the law of attraction in the way that it's typically used doesn't really work, but she can still use it as a motivational tool by, in this case, using the image of herself at her top weight to keep her focused on her goal, which is really all we're doing with the law of attraction, the imaginal act, either positive or negative, keeping you focused on your goal. Now, one of the stories I have about this coming up is about using your chi to achieve weight loss. I have a story for you now, and it's about the power of your mind and how it can help you with achieving long-term lasting weight loss. And the story is that when I was in high school, I went to an alternative high school, and we had blocks where we would, for a whole week, do something really intensively and just do that thing for an entire week. It was cool. I learned a lot that way. And one of the weeks we had a martial arts block. And so I remember going to it was a judo class, my first. Most of us had never experienced judo before. And we went, it was our first thing, and the instructor was this huge guy. I mean, he was probably 6'2". We were, teenagers, but he was big. He was probably 6'2", black belt with the white gi, And so the exercise he had us do was he put his arms straight out, real strong, and he said, I want you to walk through my arm. Not push it with your arms, but just with the force of your body, like your chest, walk through my arm. So one after the other, we tried to walk through his arm and we couldn't. His arm was strong enough to block us. So we would get to the arm and then bam, no, and go back. I mean, we were all lined up doing this, right? No, not through the arm. So then he says, all right, now I want you to use your chi. And we're all like, chi, what's chi, what's chi? So he explained, your chi is your focus, the power of your mind, your ability to use that power to create what you want in the 3D. So he said, so now what I want you to do, and I put my arm out, instead of focusing on my arm, I want you to focus past my arm. So I remember in that room, I think we were in like a church, like a big room, and there was a grand piano just past his arm. So I remember looking at the piano and focusing on the piano. He's like, all right, so now I'm going to hold my arm out at the exact same strength that it was before, and I want you to use your chi, focus past my arm, and walk through my arm. So I remember doing it really clearly, and this was a long time ago. See, I'm like, all right, grand piano, grand piano, grand piano. I walk up to the arm, a little bit of resistance, not that much, and I walk through the arm. And so we're all like, you just were making it weaker. And he's like, nope, it was the same strength. That's the power of your chi. So that's my martial arts story. Then the question is, how do you use your chi for weight loss? And by using the law of attraction and imagining what you want, or if you're more motivated by the negative, what you don't want, it should help you create that in the 3D. For homework then, I love giving homework assignments. I think it was all those years of getting them, but now I like to give them. For homework then, try using your chi. And by doing that, keep your goal in mind in some way. Try to, during the day, remember what it is you're trying to create. If you're trying to lose weight, I recommend people buy something to wear that's new, not expensive, can be super cheap, but just like a little ring or a watch or something that you're going to be wearing, a bracelet on your hands or wrists that you will see all the time. Because you ever notice that that is mostly what you see of your body, your hands, your wrists, while you talk and while you're driving, that's what you see. So if you get yourself something to remind yourself that your goal is to, whatever it is, lose 10 pounds, lose 20 pounds, fit into that dress, let it remind you of your goal and keep it in front of you all the time. It should really help you achieve it. So that's it for today. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, check out my book, Foodaholic, The 7 Stages to Permanent Weight Loss, if you're trying to achieve lasting weight loss, and come back and see me sometime. And take care.